Hello guys, today we are going to see the mechatronics experiment titled Real-Time Control of Temperature using PID Controller. So in this experiment, our aim is to study real-time control of temperature using PID controller. Apparatus we required for the experiment conduction is real-time temperature control trainer kit in a mechatronics laboratory and a table fan which will be used as a load for this real-time temperature controlling. Now, before going for our experiment conduction, one should know what is exactly the proportional control. So, in proportional control, your control signal U, we are assuming the control signal as a U, which is directly proportional to error. So, first of all, we need to keep in mind that why we are using this proportional control, integral control, derivative control, proportional integral combination, and proportional integral derivative combination. Because in industry, there are a lot of parameters which are to be controlled. For example, we can take the example of power plant where we are using the boiler. Inside the boiler, we need to maintain the temperature. So let us assume we need to maintain the temperature inside the boiler is 550 degrees Celsius. So in order to control that temperature, we require these kind of controlling actions. So whenever we set the temperature of 550 degrees Celsius, throughout the day, boiler will be run on the same temperature, on the temperature of 550 degrees Celsius. So how it is done? It is done with the help of controller, and all the things can be done from the control room itself. You don't need to go to every time on the shop floor or near the boiler room in order to control the temperature, in order to control the fuel supply of the boiler, in order to control the water supply of the boiler. So just by sitting in a single room, which is called as control room, you can control everything. You just need to set some value on your controller, and that value will be achieved by the controller. So in case of proportional control, now we come back to proportional control again. So in proportional control, your control signal U, the control signal U, this is a nomenclature for control signal. So this control signal U is directly proportional to error. Now control signal U means what? The control signal is nothing but the signal which is offered by this proportional control. This signal is offered by this proportional control. Okay. So error means what? We have set temperature and we have actual temperature, or in other case we may have set pressure also and actual pressure also. So every day in each process we are expecting something, where we try to achieve something. So that achieving something is nothing but the set value, and actual value is nothing but the value you can see or you can observe, or which is measured in current scenario. So the difference between the set value and actual value is called as error. So what proportional control actually does, it try to eliminate that error. So that's why it is said control signal. And while eliminating that error, what control signal does, it is try to overcome the error by its control action or by its control signal U. And for that purpose, for proportional control action, your control signal U is directly proportional to error. In other control actions, there may be some another relation. But in this proportional control action or proportional controller, your control signal U is directly proportional to error E. So here is the equation. U is directly proportional to error, and the proportionality constant is Kp. That is your control action. So as gain is increased in this system, your system is actually responding faster, but becomes progressively underdamped and eventually unstable. So this can be shown with the help of graphs. Now, what are advantages of proportional control? It is simple, it is easy to design and tune also. Its response is rapid, it reduces the rise time, it reduces the steady state error. What are disadvantages? It is not possible to eliminate steady state error completely. It might reduce the steady state error as you can see in the advantages, but in it cannot completely eliminate the steady state error. The other disadvantage is it could lead to instability. So certain time during controlling action, your system may get unstable. Applications are you can control the float wall and you can control the thermostat, which are we are having inside the refrigerators. Now next control action is derivative control action. Keep in mind for proportional control action, your control signal U is directly proportional to error. Now we'll see for what happens your derivative control. In derivative control, your control signal U is proportional to rate of change of error. Okay. In case of proportional control, what we had seen, in case of proportional control we had seen your control signal U is directly proportional to error. In case of derivative control, your control signal U is directly proportional to rate of change of error. Okay, that's why we have derivative, that's why the name is given as derivative. For sudden or rapid change in error, it leads to control signal of larger magnitude. And for gradual change, it leads to small signal. So, for constant error, derivative will generate no signal. Hence, it cannot be used alone because the derivative of constant will be always zero mathematically. So that's why whenever for constant error derivative doesn't generate any kind of signal. So that's why the derivative signal cannot be used alone. This question is always asked in your competitive exams or in even your academics also for your orals, practicals, and for your theory examination, that why derivative control cannot be used alone, because for constant control or for constant error derivative control will generate no signal, that means there is zero action. So that's why hence in bold it is written that it can't be used alone, it always required to be accompanied with p control, and the combination is called as pd control. Okay, so here the mathematical equation is there, control action u is directly proportional to rate of change of error d by dt, the proportionality constant is called as kd. Now we'll go for the advantages. The advantage is what? It reduces the settling time, it adds lead, then reduces overshoot, adds more stability. Then disadvantages are what? Not possible to eliminate steady state error, not possible to use alone. It is always to be accompanied by your proportional control. Excessive use may make your system slow, so that also we have to take care. It amplifies the noise. Then applications, it can be used in conjunction with your p control, it can't be used alone. Now integral control. Now integral control, what is control signal? Integral, or how control signal of this integral control action works, the control signal of integral control is proportional to integral of error. Okay, it is proportional to integral of error. These things is very important to understand. Again, I repeat, for a proportional control, your control action U is directly proportional to error. For derivative control, your control action U is directly proportional to derivative of error. For integral control action, which you can see on screen, is directly proportional to integral of your error. So, in this one, when the error is zero, the control signal is having the constant value, and when the error is constant the control signal varies at constant rate. Okay, so mathematically what is happening, so same things are actually happening in practically also. Now advantages, it eliminates the steady state, it decreases the rise time, it causes the integral wind up, it leads to minor increase in overshoot, it could make the system less stable, increase the settling time. And applications are what? It can be used in conjunction with your p control. Now we have combination of pi controller. So your P and I action is simultaneously used in order to get some output from the system. So combined proportional integral control helps in rising the time, settling the time, in minimizing the rise time, in minimizing the settling time, and it also eliminates your steady state error. So this is again the mathematical equation. Then parallel form for your PD control. So you can see again we have combined the proportional controller and derivative controller in order to get the gain from the system at faster rate. So again Combined proportional derivative control helps to reduce your rise time, to reduce your settling time, and to minimize your overshoot also. This is again equation. Now this is combined form of PID, where your whole control actions are used at the same time so that you will get the faster result, so that you can achieve your set value at the faster rate. So over here you can see there is derivative action, over here we have integral action, and over here we have proportional action. Okay, and this is input given to system and we are getting output from the system. This is your system. It may be any kind of plant, it may be power plant, it may be refrigeration plant, air conditioning plant, or sugar factory. So this is ideal form, and derivative action does not integrate with your integral action. So this is the theory part behind this experimentation, which is very important to understand. So again I repeat, why we are using the PID controller? Because PID controller controls your set value. It try to achieve the set value. It may be set temperature, it may be set pressure. So applications are 90% processes are inside the industries are always controlled by using this PID. Then regulation of the flow, regulation of the temperature, regulation of the pressure is always done by this PID control. You can also control even servo or DC control motor. Then even you can control the linear positions also. As far as experimentation part is concerned, we have this observation table. So in this observation table, total how many control action you can see? In observation table, there are total 5 types of control actions. The first one is nothing but your on-off control action. Okay, the first one is their on-off control action. Very simple kind of on-off control action we have in our home also. On-off button. When we on the button, your fan may be on. When we off the button, your fan may be off. The P control action. Okay, we are giving only the proportional gain on the instrument. We will talk about the instrument also. We are giving the I control gain on the instrument. We are giving the D control. We are combining the PI, we are combining the PD, and we are at the last we are going to combine PID simultaneously. So what readings we have to take? We have to put your serial number for each this control action. For each control action there will be separate table you have to draw. Okay, so the first table, second table, third table, and for each control action you have to take the reading at the time interval of 30 seconds. So what is happening at the time interval of 30 seconds? How do we achieve the desired value? By this experimentation process we can find out, and from that one we can conclude that which kind of control action is best. So here you have to write the conclusion. And the conclusion for the experiment, I am just going to tell what will be the conclusion. We are also going to perform the experiment also. The PID controller working far more faster as compared to your PI and PD controller. Second conclusion is PID controller avails accurate control action. Now we'll go for your experimentation.